And now for more insights on the transport strike in Germany, we're joined by Cecilia Sottilotta, Assistant Professor of Political Science at the University for Foreigners of Perugia in Italy. Thank you for joining us, Professor. So help us understand the mega strike, which is reported to be the most severe in 31 years. According to media reports, it was very rare for dispute over pay to escalate so much. Tell us why.
It is true. This was presented, and it is in fact unprecedented in German recent history. But we must also consider that the current circumstances in which Germany and Europe as a whole find themselves are also extraordinary. So we are coming out of a couple of years that have been bumpy, to say the least, between the pandemic and the war in Ukraine, which generated a number of issues also connected to raising costs of living. So Germany has always been particularly wary of inflation. You know, there's a past in that sense. There's a history in that sense that suggests that raising costs of living the population in general and also the political class are particularly sensitive to raising costs of living, again, inflation going up. So this is basically what is motivating the current situation, and the requests that trade unions are making will need to be met to some extent if these strikes, if the authorities want these strikes to end soon.
So what is the root cause of the discontent, and to what extent is the overall economy responsible for it?
I think that the problem here is that we are seeing a situation of, problems, I would say, in the redistribution of wealth in general. I think that the reason why people are especially worried is that we are seeing increasing inequality. We are seeing an increasing number of people, but this is again not limited to Germany, of working poor, meaning that people work. And this is like, if you listen to the interviews of German people in the streets, what they say is like, I could cope really well up until a couple of years ago. Now I work all the time, and there's no way I can make ends meet at the end of the month. So there's this very strong motivation. Now, naturally, the fact that these strikes have been so, at least right now, until now, successful in bringing the country to a standstill is due to the fact that Germany's trade unions are strong and organized, stronger than trade unions in other countries, for instance, in Italy.
Well, it is reported that the strike is paralyzing the country. What's the impact on the country's economy already grappling with high inflation?
I think that the immediate impact is not that remarkable because we are talking about the short term, and companies, for instance, had been informed. This strike have been announced, so it didn't come as a surprise, so companies could prepare. The big question, though, is whether and to what extent these strikes will drag on. These were really, I think they were just, trade unions were just flexing their muscles, so to speak. So unless an agreement is found in the next few days, the situation could get worse.
Well, thank you very much for your analysis. That was Cecilia Sottilotta, Assistant Professor of Political Science at the University for Foreigners of Perugia in Italy for us. Anger continues to simmer in France as the government doubles down on its controversial pension reform plan that raises the working person's